We have a Yamaha 400 Kodiak. We got to check out the water pump, see what the issue is. What we're going to do right now is take those 3 screws out. And those 3 screws. Now that the screws are out, go down here on the bottom and take out these 6 screws, and we'll remove that footrest. Don't lose that. Probably best to go ahead and remove the seat. Remove this panel right here. And now you can have access to the rest of it. Now we'll go ahead and remove these 3 bolts right here. Okay, here's our water pump. We'll go ahead and remove that. It looks like there's about 3, maybe 4 bolts in it. So we'll go ahead and take those out. Go ahead and put a bucket or something underneath your water pump because it will leak. Okay, go ahead and take the top hose here loose. Take the bottom hose off. Then go ahead and take this bolt out and this bolt out. Now what you want to do is grab this top pipe and put your fingers in behind here, and you want to twist and pull on this water pump, and the water pump should come out. Now I already had this one out. It took me probably 5 minutes to get it out, just wiggling and twisting on it, but be gentle with it. You don't want to break anything or tear anything up, but that's how it comes out. Now I'm going to go in there and take it apart and change some internal parts. Okay, here's the water pump. Still have 2 bolts in it. I'm just going to turn it over, and I want to take this snap ring off real quick. Get it out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to take these 2 bolts out. Now that we got the bolts out, we can just pull this off, put it aside. Now this here is your impeller. Now that I got that little clip off, this should pull straight out. And now we will clean this up a little bit. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll try and knock that bearing out of there. It's got a seal on the other side. We're going to be replacing that. And then this seal here will be pushed out from the other side also. We'll do one at a time.
I got the casing sitting in the vise. It's not tightened up. I'm going to take the screwdriver and pry the seal out from here, leaving part of the seal still in there. This is the spring right here, and this is half of the seal. I'm going to lay it down right here, and I'm going to show you the other half of the seal. As you can see that tube sticking up right there, that is the other part. I have to turn it around and beat that out from the other side.
We'll go ahead and take a small punch and get our bearing out of there. You see the bearing's coming right out. I'll probably end up falling on the floor. See if I can catch it. Nope, couldn't catch it. But there's another issue right there. That was bad. Now we'll go ahead and take that seal out. I'll see it in there. Okay, Okay, there we go. We got it coming out right there. Right there it is. Here we got the seal out. Now we will clean it up and put the seals back in. What I need to do now is take this piece right here out. This has got to come out because the new piece that I get will have this in it. So that's got to come out of there, if you can see that. So what I'll do is I'll get in here behind there and I will punch that out right here. You can see it's coming out. I just wanted to give you a view of what that looks like. You're going to destroy this one getting it out. Just be careful not to bust your housing. Now this one, when you pull it out, it's sealed in there pretty good. That's why it's so hard to get it out. Now I got to clean out all of this here before I put the new one in. I'm removing all my gaskets with this right here. Got all the gasket material out of there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the seal in it. Here's the seal that I'm putting in. This seal here also came with it. This seal here goes in the back of here. So we'll get to that later. But the part number for these two seals right here is right here. I'm going to throw some grease in here just to help to get the seal in. Now I'm going to have to find something the size of this ring to put on there and tap down in here so that I don't mess up this seal. I got it pressed in. I actually used a 7/8 socket. I just put it right on here and I used my bench press to put it together. You could probably use a vise. This is the seal. Here's the part number. Now when this seal came out, it actually came out this way. So that's how I'm going to put it back in, with the spring side facing me. Not this way. Now I'm going to grease this up a little bit and get the seal down in there. Okay, the seal's in. I used nothing but my thumb to press it in. Went in really easily. Now I'll go ahead and put the bearing in. Here is the new bearing. Here is the number. It's kind of in the front and on the side. So packaged up. We'll take it out. We'll grease it and we will slide it in there. We'll probably have to press this one in. We can also do this one with the vise. At this point I'm just going to go ahead and throw some grease on this in case I can't get to it later after I get the bearing on there, so when the shaft goes through it'll be lubricated. Now if I had to do this over again, I would put the bearing in first because I can't press this bearing in with the vise. I'm going to have to use my press because of this lip right here that's sticking out. I don't want to accidentally bend it or mess it up. So I'm going to go over here and press this in. But like I said, if I had to do it over again, I would actually put the bearing and the seal in first, and then I would put this in. Okay, the bearing's in. Got it greased real good down in there, as you can see. Now I'll go ahead and see if I can put the seal on the impeller. Okay, all you got to do is take your pick and work around this a little bit, down into the rubber, pry it up. This will come out. Now I'll go ahead and replace it with the other seal. Yeah, you can pretty much see how dirty and nasty this is down in there. So I'll have to clean all that up. Seal, yeah, it was pretty nasty also, as you can see here. Now this little seal comes as a set with your mechanical seal. So it's the same part number. This right here. Now I'll go ahead and I'll press this in here. I want to put a little bit of, let's see, don't need any grease because it just pushed right in by hand. Okay, make sure the white is facing you when you put it in there. Now that I've checked the seal and got it in there really good, I'm ready to put the pump back together. Just insert it into here. Now that the impeller is in it, I'm going to squeeze it, and I'm going to put the lock ring back on the back of this. If you look at your lock ring, you'll notice it's round on one side and flat on the other. So you want the flat part going inward toward the pump. Now what I'll do is I'll just push this straight on down in here. Let it snap, and it's good to go. What I'm going to do now is take this O-ring off and replace it with a new one. This is the new O-ring. This is the part number. The new O-ring is in there. This is the old one. See how flat the old one is? Not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be round like this one. I'm going to take my 2 bolts that I have. I'm going to pull this inward, and as I do, I'm going to turn this until I feel it line up with the gear on the inside. Okay, I'm going to put my 2 bolts in here just to make sure the threads are lined up. Now I'm going to try and push this in and get this to line up with the gear. Okay, here's what I had to do. I got it seated. You can see there's a little bit of play right there. That means it's seated. I had to take my bolts that actually go into this, and I had to take and put a couple of nuts or washers on here to give me some room to press that back up in there. Now they're lined up and I can put everything else together. Now I'll go ahead and put the housing on. Put the gasket on here. Get the bolts started, which is the 2 right here, the top and the bottom. Right underneath the plug where you drain the water. I'll get those on there and I'll get this all bolted down. Now what I'll do, go ahead and put this hose on right there. I'll clamp it down. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and tighten this hose right to here down. Everything tightened down. Now all I got to do is add water. Now I have to put water in the radiator, so I got to take out this bolt here. I'll take out that bolt there. Come around here, take out this bolt here, that bolt there. These bolts here that I'm getting ready to take off are a 12mm. Okay, we got the rack out of our way. Now we got some kind of little tab here and a little tab here. I'll get a screwdriver and pull those out. Pop this off. Right here's our radiator fill cap. So now we'll just go ahead and fill it full of antifreeze. Now I'm going to start it and check for leaks. When I put all these bolts back in this footrest, I'm going to put some of this aluminum anti-seize lubricant on it, on each bolt. That way they don't rust in there and freeze to where they end up getting broke. At least they'll come out. Now we got to put our bolts in up here. We got 3 here and 3 on this side. Same thing with these bolts right here. This looks like it's a fiber lock anyway. I'm going to go ahead and put anti-seize on these to keep them from seizing up. Got all this bolted down. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the side cover on it. Yeah, these bolts here are also 8mm. We'll go ahead and tighten them down. All these bolts that I'm tightening down tightens to 7.2 foot-pounds. If you don't have a torque wrench, just snug them down real good. Use your best judgment. Do not break them. Now go ahead and put the side cover on.
Now go ahead and put the hood and the rack back on it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment,